Hey, so yeah, I'm probably gonna start wearing this more often just because I feel like it's more authentic when I wear engineer clothing. I guess like when you wear a big bright orange vest, it makes you look like you're in construction or you're designing or you're an engineer. So yeah, just hopefully you guys believe me. So the purpose of this video is to explain why I think that environmental engineering or really any environment related position or job, I think it's going to explode in the future. I think it's going to go way high in demand because of really what's happening right now. People are starting to get more interested in like climate change, and they're really starting to see like the environmental impact of climate change. And so climate change is getting worse and worse, but really I feel like the whole shift in this was because of the pandemic. And this pandemic opened people's eyes really and seeing how like their actions now can truly hurt generations from now. So let me just give you my point of view really. So before this whole pandemic, it was just business as usual. I would wake up at 6 a.m., take like 1 hour or an hour and a half to drive to my daily commute to work. Work started at like say 8 o'clock, so I'd wake up early, take an hour to drive, and that's like 1 hour's worth of exhausting fumes, 1 hour's worth of air pollution. And so that was just my daily routine. I'm pretty sure that happened to other people in my area, especially if you're living in California. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people every single day did wake up and they drive to work. You have people across the globe, people working in factories. They're just factory workers. They're operating, spitting out carbon dioxide, plastics, just again, business as usual. Then all of a sudden, COVID hit. Now people are getting sick. Now people are staying at home. Basically, everything just shut down. So the whole economy shut down. Now these factories, they just stopped. No more air pollution, no more production of plastics, or at least it stopped for like a few months. And then slowly, gradually started shifting back open again, and then maybe it'll just end up going back to business as usual. So anyway, you can see this change. There was nothing happening, and then eventually a sudden drastic change happened, and then we're slowly progressing. So how does that relate to like the environment and environmental engineering? Here's what's happening right now. So right now there's like more trash and like more plastics. So for example, that factory that was up and running before COVID, before this whole pandemic, it was like producing toys, plastic toys. It shut down and then it shifted towards now generating and creating and producing, reusable masks. So instead of producing what they usually made, which was toys, now they're producing plastic masks, those single one-use item masks. So you see how they're not really stopping the production of plastics, they're just shifting it to producing something else. Now there might be, say, more electronics that are being wasted because people are staying at home, they might need to upgrade a computer, a computer that has like a webcam built inside of it. So at their work, it was, provided. But now they have to go at home, they have to stay at home, so they bought a new laptop. Or say, for example, kids, they stayed at home. So now they need, new laptops as well. So the parents went out and bought laptops for them and their kids. So as things went more digital, now consumers, they went out and bought more electronics. So for example, we could have like a computer chip shortage, but then we're just also buying and generating more electronic waste because you don't want old electronic, laptops anymore. We want the newest ones. And so now we're just producing more trash, more plastics, more electronics. And so here's where we're going to emerge. We're going to have to deal with these problems. It's because of these problems that, engineers are born, really. You're here to fix problems. So because now we're shifting things and now we have more problems, now we probably have more jobs. Eventually they're going to need us because no one wants to deal with this anymore. Next, you can sort of see that we're shifting to like renewable energy, at least here in the United States. But I also want to say that at least everywhere in the world is trying to shift from like a dirty fossil fuel to a cleaner alternate energy. So a big popular one right now is that we're shifting to electronic vehicles, those EVs that you see, like Tesla, for example. Another good example is that solar energy is like getting cheaper. Before, years way back, just creating solar panels was really expensive and they didn't produce as much electricity, but now like it's getting cheaper and it's getting more efficient. So the good thing in a way about this pandemic is that COVID really made people really aware of their health. People are starting to understand that, you know what, maybe pollution is a bad thing. Pollution is actually hurting me. I don't really see it, I don't see the virus. I don't see the air pollutants or like the air particulates, but I know it's there. I know it's bad for me. I know it's harming me. And so because of that, now that people are aware of like their health, they're just thinking maybe I can do something to prevent it from getting worse. Maybe I could wash my hands to get rid of the virus. Maybe I should like shift to renewable energy to prevent things from getting worse. Get like an electric vehicle that won't produce air pollutants from my car. So with this sudden shift in like renewables and alternate energies, Now, again, they're going to need us. They're going to need environmental engineers, or they're going to need people who are aware of the environment or see the benefit of it. All these scientists and engineers. They're going to need someone who specializes in this sort of type of shift. And lastly, I know it sounds weird and sort of doesn't really relate, but it's that people are working from home. So when you're working at home, sometimes you're not too busy, or sometimes you get to have more free time or leeway than you would think. So because you're working from home, or maybe you're just stressed from all that work, you want to have something like a home garden. Now you picked up a new hobby, gardening. Or because you're working from home and like you don't want to go out because of the pandemic, you're just staying at home. That just means that you're, driving less to go to work, or you're driving less to eat out, you're driving less to go to some event. And so if you're driving less, that means you're, polluting less. You're not taking your car, you're not turning on the engine, you're not generating all this air pollutants, you're reducing your carbon footprint because you don't go out anymore. Overall, it's a win because you're not wasting money going out, you're not wasting time sitting in traffic, and you're also de-stressing because you're now home gardening, you're not part of that air pollution generation. So it's helping everyone out just because you're working from home. So people who are working from home, not only can you just work from home, but again, you're saving money, saving time, saving gas. You're helping the environment because you're not part of that problem. So that's why you're helping the environment no matter what you do. And it's weird because you're helping the environment if you do nothing at all, which is the case. And lastly, I don't really want to stick my head too much into this, but it's like politics. The government, the environment regulations, they're starting to get really serious about it right now. Although everything is still up in the air, it's still just planned out, and people are just saying a lot, but they're not implementing it yet. I still have high hopes that they eventually will. So it's just right now, because of these turn of events like this, these unprecedented, dire, scary events, that's shifting people's mind into thinking ahead of time. They want to prevent this from happening. So if we can prevent some pandemic from happening again, then maybe you can prevent what is truly known like climate change, or all these environmental impacts that we know have a negative effect on human life. And in order for us to achieve that, we need people who are experts in that. We need environmental experts. We need environmental engineers, environmental scientists, all these people who know what they're doing and who can foresee and help implement these sort of things that can get way worse. And so that's why I'm not really too scared about the future, because I know we as humans, we adapt. Although it is scary that we always wait last minute before things, take truly into effect, before we start to take things seriously. We just like to wait until something bad happens, and then we'll think, okay, maybe we should do something about it. I'm not worried that we can't do this, we can't fix this, because I know we can. It's just taking so much longer than it should be. Yeah, so that's why I think we'll be alright in the future. It's just right now that we should be shifting our minds to do something about it. And I think in this era, at least within my lifetime, we are definitely making a strive to do something about it. We are stepping in the right direction. Okay, that's all I have for now. Goodbye.